Hello, my name's Lindsay and I'm part of the clergy team here in Portishead. On the first Wednesday of each month, I facilitate a small home group called Wednesday Wanderings. The group meet on Zoom and together ponder a passage of scripture. The passage I choose always seems to be a random choice. Sometimes the choice is quite simply because it was the reading for that day. Or other times I'm drawn to it for a reason I don't fully understand. The format of the evening is quite simple. The passage is heard 3 times, in 3 different translations: NRSV, the Message and New Living. After the first reading we ask, what word or phrase stood out for you? After the second reading we ask, how does this story connect to your story? And after the third reading we ask, what do you think God is inviting or challenging you to do? We normally meet for an hour and our ponderings take us in many different directions. We share our thoughts and how Jesus is working in and through our lives. We spend time digging deeper into the passage of scripture and what that passage might be challenging us to individually do. We end by turning our conversations to prayer, praying for all that has been shared and for each other. This month we shared Mark 9:30 to 37. The passage is neatly divided into 3 parts. The first part predicts Jesus' passion and resurrection. The second part is about the disciples' lack of understanding. And lastly, Jesus teaches the disciples. Let me read it to you. And the version I'm reading is the New Living Translation. Leaving that region, they travelled through Galilee. Jesus didn't want anyone to know he was there, for he wanted to spend more time with his disciples and teach them. He said to them, "The Son of Man is going to be betrayed into the hands of his enemies, and he will be killed. But 3 days later he will rise from the dead." They didn't understand what he was saying. However, they were afraid to ask him what he meant. After they arrived at Capernaum, Jesus asked his disciples, "What were you discussing out on the road?" But they didn't answer him, because they'd been arguing about which of them was the greatest. He sat down, called the 12 disciples over to him, and said, "Whoever wants to be first must take last place, and to be the servant of everyone else." Then he put a little child among them. Taking a child in his arms, he said to them, "Anyone who welcomes a little child like this, on my behalf, welcomes me. And anyone who welcomes me, welcomes not only me, but also the Father who sent me." I invite you to press the pause button and take a moment to reflect on the passage yourself. Welcome back. When we pondered and wondered as a group, I was surprised how much this passage spoke of the work that is done at Martha's Kitchen. Martha's Kitchen is an ecumenical project that provides hot meals for families during the school holidays. We have a great team of people who pray together and work amazingly hard to cook, serve, provide craft activities for all the families who come. The team is made up of a diverse group of humble people who quietly and faithfully share their faith through acts of service. Those that serve at Martha's Kitchen are echoing the words of Jesus. They are serving families in the community and welcoming the stranger. They welcome the child. They welcome the child's family. At Martha's Kitchen, the children are among us. We eat together, listen to stories together, transform great big piles of junk into models together. We celebrate every child's birthday. We listen to them, feed them, and welcome them into our family. I'm going to read again the last few words from Mark 9, and maybe you too will see why these words resonated with me so much. Jesus put a child among them, and taking the child in his arms, he said to them, "Anyone who welcomes a child like this one on my behalf welcomes me. And anyone who welcomes me welcomes not only me, but my Father who also sent me. Every day St. Benedict told his monks, you and I will encounter Jesus. You will stroll right past him if you're not careful. You need to look carefully. Search for that spark of light in someone's eyes, and let yourself be open to the possibility of God coming to you in the stranger. So what does it mean to welcome the stranger? And does it make a difference if that stranger is a child?